Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. It is Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. EST, and we're taking a look at the NASDAQ. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin as well. Both are looking bullish, although NASDAQ is just giving us what is usually a pretty bullish formation. Now, this can go one of two ways, right? If you're looking at just the charts, when you see higher highs and higher lows, obviously price is in an uptrend. Will we see new highs today or tomorrow? The chances are decent. You have higher highs, higher lows. Very, very simple way to look at this. Now, this can also be an indication of things slowing down a little bit. What does that mean? Well, if you go back to roughly the 22nd of June, you'll notice that there was a strong move up, and now that move is starting to slow down. So sometimes price can break down from here, but as long as we continue to get higher lows and higher highs, technically the price is in an uptrend. And I talked about it yesterday. I believe the target for the upside was 23,600 or so. And this is just based on Fibonacci extensions, right? But you can see it here. It's just, if I had to guess what was going on, this is it's a consistent move up. It looks like someone is market making and enticing retail to continue to buy. And the quants have said, at least in a certain article that I read, that a lot of this move up has been retail. And just judging based on what this looks like, and I'm going to have to explain to you what that means, but just based on what this looks like, this move up was probably the big money. It's a much stronger move. It's after the taper tantrum. And then this bit right here, where it slows down and it's just kind of like a lower volatility, that seems to be retail. So institutional money is probably distributing to retail as we speak. What does that mean? It means that the smart money bought here and they're slowly selling here, right? And retail continues to buy because they think it's going to go up forever, and it may continue to go up for a while, or it may not. But there is a continuing decrease of volatility. You'll notice that this move was strong, big ups and big downs, right? You get these stronger kind of moves. And then this next move right here is more kind of, the moves up and down are weaker. And then this final, or I should say most recent move, is even less volatility. Small moves up, small moves down. So usually a decrease in volatility usually means the price may reverse. The other option is it could break out to the upside. We are in a very odd time right now. Normally during the summertime, I would guess that we are going to see price pull back. You can see the same thing happened here going back to August of 2024, not to do with the summertime, but just the price action. You had these large ups and downs, right? A little bigger. And then you had more of a consolidation. But again, the volatility really dropped off. And then there were some market events and so on and so forth. But you'll see continued through history, a big move to begin with, then smaller moves, and then a reversal. It's just what happens usually in markets. Not always, but often, usually. Perfect example is right here. Big moves up, big moves down, and then you see it calm down just like this, smaller moves, and then a meltdown. Now, it'll get caught or it won't. We don't know what's going to happen there, but we're starting to approach that territory now where price may start to fall. And the way that we can know that this might be over, if we're only looking at price action, we're ignoring the algorithms at this time, is that with these higher highs and higher lows, once one of these lows gets violated, let's just say price goes right here and starts to head down and breaks this low right here, one of these higher lows we were just talking about, that means that the rally might be over, right? Here you saw that price came close to doing that, right? But it never actually broke these lows. It just kept heading up, up, up. It almost broke the low right here. Maybe it technically did, but it didn't close below. So let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here on the way up, technically, yeah, it didn't break the low. It touched the low, but it kept going up. right? So you never saw a break of these lows. And if you look back here to our prior example, you'll see that the low was broken. Let's see if this is what I'm trying to show you. Yeah, so this was the example we used earlier. If I were to zoom in a bit, you've got higher lows, right? All through here. This is using price action, not even algos, but you got a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And then this was like a test, and then the low got broken. So let's draw some lines. The low was broken right there. So this is your most recent low. Price bounced off of it, but stayed above. And then you started to see some lower highs up here, which is also good to watch. If you see the same low over and over again, just try to find my right arrows here. Give me a second. Oh man, where's my stuff? It should be right here. It is. So here's your higher lows. And then the lows start to kind of be the same, right about there. Those last three, even four, actually. There's a fourth one there. And then you start to see lower highs. That's also your clue, where price is kind of defending down here. So let me delete these guys here. Price is defending these lows. You get lower highs. That's an indication that price might break down. And of course, you saw the breakdown. And it wasn't a huge retracement. And they're not always huge retracements. They're not always huge moves down, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And then the institutions will come in on the pullback and buy up again. And we're seeing meme stock rallies. We're seeing all kinds of things that are telling me that we might be in a situation where the high is near. Doesn't mean it's in, and it could just continue up. You know, I have to rely more also on the algos, which are down at the bottom of the screen in a way. Oops, let's fix the style there. I mean, look, this thing is high time frame bullish, right? So we might see a pullback, but just based on the algos alone, there is a chance that that pullback is going to be temporary. And that's on such a high time frame, it doesn't really matter from a trading standpoint. That was a lot on the NASDAQ, so I'm going to move over to Bitcoin. And we're just going to take a look at what's happening with that. Okay, so we are kind of seeing what I just talked about. Now, the algos on Bitcoin are, again, high time frame bullish. It probably wants to go up some more, but look what we're seeing. We are seeing, it's a little different, but some of the things we're talking about apply. You've got lower highs. Price can't break the highs, although we did see a little bit of a bullish signal when price broke this high right here. So that high right there, price did break that. So we're going to progress the chart or regress the chart, and we'll take a look at that. And then we'll define all of this in a minute. So stick with me here, but you have this low and you have that low. So it kind of seems like we're seeing lower highs and price defending the same low. You could even say that these two lows were a bit of a deviation, and the true low is actually kind of like right there. And if you looked at it that way, then you're looking at multiple lows. Some people like to do it this way. I think this is probably the better way to consider it. Also, if you consider the fact that Bitcoin is very volatile. So with that said, is price going to break down? Well, right now, as I continue to say, Bitcoin may pull back to 112, right? Why would it do that? Well, because that was the prior high back here. It might not even make it all the way to 112, but this break upwards was really, really fast. And the market tends not to like when price breaks up really fast and then doesn't come back down to grab this area. The market tends to want to come back and fill that in. However, if you look at the algorithms, you're starting to see evidence that we might get that move back down. It's still very bullish. It may never come back down there. It's kind of a coin toss. So the way I would handle this from a trading aspect is to take a look at this as a range, and whichever way price breaks out is going to be most likely which way it continues for the short term. So we might see a breakout to the upside. This is Bitcoin in the bull market in the, let's just say the summertime, technically approaching the fall time. And I mean that figuratively, summer and fall. I don't mean like the calendar. saying that the bull market has been going on for well over a year, right? So we're not talking calendar. We're just saying it's a little bit late in the bull market. I do think we will see prices go higher. My minimum target for the bull market was about 125. We have seen 123. That could have been the top, but I do think there's a bit of gas in the can left. So if price wants to continue to break highs, it could go as high as 160. My sweet spot is around 145, just so you all understand that. My sweet spot for this bull market where it might be over is going to be 145. That's how that goes. So in the current time, most likely what's going to happen is that as long as volatility continues to decrease, as long as price starts to move slower and slower, it's probably going to respect the range and the volatility will decrease. And if it continues to respect this range, then it's going to just go slower and slower. And eventually it will kind of grind to a sort of a halt. It'll get really slow and maybe even start to make something like this. And then it's probably going to break out, right? It'll either come up to one side, break out to the top side, something like this, or it will come down and maybe do something like this. So that's more or less what's going to happen. And it might happen over many more weeks, but it's just a general idea of Bitcoin right now. And it is at this point, in my opinion, a coin toss. If I were trading Bitcoin, I would look to respect structure. I, at this point, really would range trade this. I would buy the bottoms, sell the tops. Some of that would depend on what the algos are saying at the time that I am trading, right? So that is the look at NASDAQ and Bitcoin. There are a lot more things to look at. And what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to head over to the private live lab. Now, Algo Factory is the company that we own. It looks like V the Grill is here. Just in time. How are you, sir?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Doing good. We just got done talking about Bitcoin and the NASDAQ. So I was just about to flip us over to the private live lab, but I figured you might want to come say hello. And, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to share.
Yeah, join us, guys. I mean, don't sit on the sidelines wondering if this is for you. You want to try us out. Listen, grab the bull by the balls and join us over at algofactory.tech.
Yeah, link in the description right there. If you go click that link, there's a free algorithm. It's there to teach you how they're built. Now, if you know what you're doing, you might be able to make it a profitable algorithm as well. But if you go and click that free algo, we'll put you on a list and, we'll go ahead and send you like free market updates and stuff like that. And that'll give you a portal and how to find us. So that's that. Give me a second here. All right. Thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. EST sharp. And never, ever forget.
Join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. We love you.